The new ACC champion for 2026 is the Duke Blue Devils, the women's basketball team coached by ACC Coach of the Year, Coach Lawson. Pulled it out very, very, very slimly. Though another pullout win. They pulled it out 70-65 in overtime against the red hot Louisville Cardinals. The game was up and back and up, back and forth. It was up and down, have you on the edge of your seat. I swear, the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and then the entire overtime period, everybody was on their feet. You would have thought it was a concert, the way that everybody stood around and was cheering and rooting for their respective teams. Obviously the Duke fan base had to get a little bit more into the game once overtime came and, really get, really rally behind the girls. The Cardinal fans were lit from the very beginning. From the time they walked into the arena, they were ready. And that shift, that turning point really, in my opinion, came once they tied the game at the end of the fourth and they went into overtime. Because that's when I feel like Louisville kind of let their foot up off the gas a little bit, and then Duke just kept going. It wasn't even like they just mashed the gas. They just kept going. They just, oh, you're going to slow down? We're going to keep going. And that's how they won, in my opinion. Because looking at their stats, they played relatively just as good as the other team, like super duper competitive. And I've been saying this all week. The games have been competitive, and each game, either some skills have leveled up, some skills have stayed the same with some of these players, but they're leveling it up and they're literally meeting each other where they are, and they're fighting in that head to head. Because looking at Louisville, they've had 34 rebounds, 15 assists. They were 33% from the three, which that right there was part of their problem, and they were 42% from the field. Duke, on the flip side, as a team, they had 43 rebounds, 15 assists. They shot 40% from the three, and they were 39% from the field. So literally, Duke shooting better than them at the three is what helped them really take this game. And uncharacteristic, because I said plenty of times in my previews, even in my recaps, that Louisville was in the top of the nation when it comes to three-point shooting. Defensively, both these teams stepped it up. I think Duke really needed to step it up. As I said yesterday, I felt like against Notre Dame, they kind of weakened out. They kind of struggled a little bit, but they figured it out. They worked out those kinks, and they really was ready for Louisville. And I think the first, I say, quarter or so, Louisville was getting accustomed, like, okay, Duke's showing up. We got to show up. We got to push back. And they did. But at the end of the game, it's always about how you finish, and they just didn't finish strong, allowing the back-to-back buckets from Duke. And then that's what tied the game. That's when the defense really needed to step up. And they were aggressive, both sides, which is not a bad thing. But you have to be aggressive fully through. And I just think that's just what happened there. I'm going to talk a little about Louisville, because since they didn't win, I'm going to talk about them first. But I think that Louisville has an amazing, talented team. They are a young team, and a lot of them haven't been in this predicament before. Haven't. Not even, I don't think any of them actually have been in the predicament of being in a championship game before. And you can tell at certain points, because you just have to know how to pace yourself. You have to know, when do you step in? When do you just go for the shot? If you got a good look, just take the shot. And I think they have to kind of continue to work on it. You work in that. Last year, they got eliminated by Duke in the quarterfinals, so they didn't make it to the semifinals and to the championship game. So it was new territory for them. And I think that now that they have been here, and because their team is so young, if they can get there next year, the story may be very much different. That's just my opinion on that. I think that Amari Berry, Laura Ziegler, and McKinley Richardson really put, McKinley Randolph really put the team on their back. I feel like they were the heart and soul of that team, and they did everything they could possibly do to really help out their teammates. And literally, Berry came off the bench, played 32 minutes, 18 points, three rebounds, 2 assists. Like, she was the 3-ball drop queen. She was getting it. She was taking it to the basket. She was doing what she needed to do as a teammate. And I think just seeing her, she is a star. She's a star. And she stays at Louisville, that program is going to be, it's already turned around. It's already a great program. They made it to the ACC championship game. So I can just imagine what's going to come with them getting more familiar, getting more comfortable. You know, as you do these things routinely, you get into your junior and your senior year, you're becoming elite. And I think that's going to happen for Barry. I think Barry, Randolph, and Roberts, they're the sophomores that are going to lead this Louisville team into the future. If they all stay and continue to hone in their skills, continue to build that program, lights out. They're taking it to a whole nother dimension. Randolph came in 17 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. The defensive queen. The crown belongs to her. It belongs to her. Taj Robertson, 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Okay? The girl can drop the 3. She can. Taj can do it. Honing on them skills a little bit. She's going to be that girl. That's just my opinion, and I think that they have a ways to go. They have 2 seniors on the team, Laura Ziegler and Raina Scott, so they will be losing those 2. But I think that they're in good hands. They're in good hands. The fan base is just phenomenal. The fan base is super duper loaded. They were rallying behind them from the very beginning to the very end. And I think that you need that in women's sports, specifically basketball. You need your team to rally behind you. You need that energy. You need that from the people that support you the most. And I think that they showed up really, really well today for the girls. And I can't wait to see what they do in the tournament. I can't wait to see if they can, work out some of those kinks, iron it out, really get over the game today. You lost, but now you got to go fight and try to make your way for a national championship. So I think it's a round of applause for them ladies, because they played one heck of a game. They really, really did. And same thing for Duke, playing one heck of a game. The difference between the two is that Duke's team is way more experienced and they're way more senior led. They have 5 seniors on their team: Mayer, Jackson, Cobell, Martin, Johnson. And just about everybody on the roster was in the last year's tournament championship game for the ACC and in the big dance. So they understand the assignment. They understand what it's like to be there. They know what it feels like to win. They know how to do certain things, how to pace yourself, how to get those key shots and things. And it kind of showed up in overtime. They really just kept driving. They kept going. And that's how they were able to win that game. So when you have a more experienced team who has been here, who's done it, who understands, you kind of see the difference in the way they play. So I think that overall, Duke, with the seniority just took the cake for them today. But Toby Fournier is a sophomore, and I think that she is a defensive lights out elite player. She's going to be one of those girls. She already is one of those girls. And I think that continuing to see her develop over time as well is going to take Duke's team pretty, pretty far. Riley Nelson, Delaney Thomas, same thing. Delaney Thomas is a junior. Riley Nelson is a sophomore. So again, they have opportunities to continue to grow with this Duke's team. And I think that next year, Duke, Louisville, Notre Dame, UNC, they're going to be at the top of the ACC once again. I don't foresee things changing. Maybe NC State can slide themselves in there as well. But this is looking like what the ACC has turned into. It's going to be one of these top rotating teams because they have the talent, they have the skill, and it's there. Delaney Thomas was 19 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. Mayer was 19 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Nelson was 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And Thomas really came in clutch twice when they needed her. So that girl. And they have officially punched their ticket into the NCAA March Madness tournament. I know we're saying it was March Madness tournament, but the NCAA tournament. This is the 10th title for Duke women's basketball, winning the ACC championship, and it is the 2nd title under head coach Lawson, and this is their title back-to-back because they won it in 2025, and now they've won it in 2026, and they're going to be looking to win it again for the 50th anniversary back in when they get to 2027. So great things ahead for both of these teams. I'm super excited to see what they do in the tournament. This was absolutely elite and great basketball. I was so happy to be a part of it, to be in the flesh, to witness it. And I think both these teams are going to do really, really well in their future. They have so much talent on both teams. It's just phenomenal. And Notre Dame as well. Hannah Hidalgo and what they're doing over there, it's going to be great. I think the ACC is in a great spot. They're in a great landing spot. But congratulations again to the Duke University Blue Devils, as they are the ACC Women's Basketball Tournament champions for 2026. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing on all social media platforms at Peachy Love Sports and PrettyGirlsMedia.com. I will see you guys on the next one.